Hello and welcome to today's session. I hope you're all amazingly well from whichever part of the world you are watching or listening. Today, I'd like to talk about the myth my owners and GM only care about profits. And this is a myth many wellness leaders actually fall victim to. And I'll also put my hand up, me included. And I remember, and I'm still part, and I still keep a position very much of being an operations person because I never want to lose that, despite how far I am up on the strategy ladder. And there are moments, you know how it feels like you see that we have serious maintenance issues. For example, the sauna isn't working, or the steam room isn't working, or the ice fountain has never really been switched on or ever worked. Or during high season or during peak times, we have to turn away so much business because we don't have extra staff or seasonal therapists to help, or you are seeing that guests keep slipping in the spa area and we do need a treatment on the floor so that we stop having all these accidents, or that we need another brand so that we can sell more. So you know how it is that you have that solid idea, you have a clear of idea of what you can do to improve guest satisfaction and these small little things that aren't working within the wellness area, and you know that they will give huge results going forward. The only thing is you don't know how to measure them. But when you put together your ideas and you go to your GM or your director of finance, and it's almost kind of obvious that these are pressing problems that need to be fixed, you suddenly face a GM and a director of finance telling you, sorry, we don't have budget. It doesn't fly. You know, that idea is not implemented. That idea to improve the wellness offering, the basics, isn't approved. And that can be so terribly demoralizing and frustrating. I remember being in those situations and I continue to be in them. And then, when, the hotel business is cyclical, sometimes you think you're going to have a good season, other times you don't have that good season. We're living in crazy times. Cost of living and cost of doing business has just, skyrocketed. And then you see in other areas of the hotel, there are also kind of aggressive cost cutting measures being implemented. And coupled with the information that we get, no budget, we can't improve what you have offered us to improve. And then on top of that, you go and start seeing selective and quite aggressive cost cutting measures. You suddenly come to the conclusion that my owners and GM only care about profits. And today I'd like to talk about why that thought does not serve us. Because here's the thing. Of course, your GM and your owners care about profits. If a business did not have profits, it simply can't survive. It wouldn't be able to pay you the salary. It wouldn't be able to pay suppliers. It wouldn't be able to give the guests the experiences they want to, or they wouldn't give the owners the return on investment for all the risk they have taken. So clearly, it's a given. They do care about profits. However, what we can't do is adopt this simplistic approach and say that just because they only care about profits, they don't care about guest experience, they don't care about staff, they don't care about wellness. Because here's the thing, your owners and your GM do care about wellness. They do care about the people. They do care about the experiences they deliver to their guests. Otherwise, they wouldn't have invested tens of millions, up to 100 million, on building that hotel. However, when we go to pitch our wellness idea, what we end up doing without even realizing it is that we give our GMs a very vague return on investment. And in the process, we actually end up adding to this stress. And I was listening to one of the several audiobooks that I listen while I go training for my marathon. And it's so, so true. When someone is in pain, you can't really offer them a brighter solution. You have to help them fix their pain, and then you can offer them a brighter solution. So if you think of it, if someone is there, rolling in huge pain because of a toothache, you're not going to go offer them a teeth whitening treatment. They don't care about that. Or you're not going to offer them a clove. Like I remember my partner a few months ago, he had a terrible toothache, and I gave him clove because in Ayurveda in India, like my grandma used to always back home in Kenya, if we were, we had toothaches or anything, we just had to put this clove in our mouth, and the taste was so horrible that, we thought, okay, the pain or the clove, we'd rather just stay with the pain. But clearly that didn't work for David. And at the end of the day, he just needed that painkiller to get rid of that pain. Think of a woman in labor and in pain. She's there begging for an epidural. You wouldn't start going off on a rant on natural birthing techniques, water births, or breathing techniques. You would just give her the epidural. Or if someone's drowning, you wouldn't go and start teaching them how to swim. You will throw them the life raft. Or if someone's having a headache, you're not going to tell them, that they need to drink 2 liters of water. You will just give them that painkiller. So this can also be extrapolated to our day-to-day operations. Now, clearly, I have given very exaggerated examples. But if your GM and your owners are facing pressure in terms of they need more profitability, what you can't do is ask for them to spend more money on something that may or may not give that money back in the short term. You have to help them fix the problem and then propose them a brighter future. So if low occupancy is a problem, you can sit down with your GM and say, how can wellness help to bring in more guests during low season? How can we help? Now, if you solve that occupancy issue, which in turn means these guests are going to spend more in other areas of the hotel, even if the package means that you are left as the wellness department with a very minimal chargeback to your profit and loss, that doesn't matter. What matters is that all that money is going into the main pot. So you're helping your GM fix a problem they have today. Because there's always a reason. And we need to ask that reason. We just can't assume that they don't care about wellness or they only care about profits. And we can see it because we're seeing aggressive cost-cutting measures. It's never that simplistic. So this is where wellness leaders go incredibly wrong. We will go and ask for, let's say, 10,000 euros of buying new treatment beds for the well-being of our therapists. It doesn't mean that your GM, your owners don't care about your therapist health or well-being. It just means right now that 10,000 euros is a huge expense that they simply can't afford. So what you can do is start to think, what else can you offer that doesn't jeopardize the health of your therapists, but also generates revenue and doesn't require a huge capital investment? Now, this is what our GMs want from us. Let's look at wellness. Instead of giving that future vision, offer them the cure, offer them the solution to the pain right now. And once you've fixed their pain, or you've helped them fix their pain, and they see that you have helped them fix their pain, they will be very engaged on any future vision that you have. So, as wellness leaders, can you see how you have been doing things in a way that hasn't served you? Can you see how your wellness department can actually offer a huge solution to your hotelier's problems? It only requires us to think in a slightly different way. Fix the problem, and then once the problem is solved, then you can go to the future. But if you do it the other way around, everything that you are offering is about a benefit in the future. When they're in so much pain right now, whatever you offer will definitely be rejected. And that is what has been happening all this time round. It's just that you have not managed to put wellness as that painkiller for their deep pain right now. And how do you change that? As simple as it sounds. Sit down with your GM, your owners, your director of finance. What is the problem? And how can wellness help you solve it? Now, they might not know the answer of how wellness can help solve that, besides this offer rooms and spa package, massive discounting, because that's all they know. But that is why they have you, the wellness expert, to help them come up with a solution that doesn't dilute your wellness offering, but that does solve the immediate pain of your hoteliers. I remember Kate Sotsenko, a productivity coach. She came to speak at the Wellness Asset Academy in one of the graduations in the October round, and she talked about how to get the buy-in of your leaders. She comes from the hospitality industry too, and she said the success, like the key to her success, was that she treated everyone, all her colleagues, so her bosses, her colleagues, not only the clients, but her real colleagues, she treated them as clients. And she thought, the question for herself was always, how can I best serve you? So she changed it from, what can you do for me, to what can I do for you? And only once you give, only once you seek to understand, can you get, and then can you actually demand to be heard? So, as wellness leaders, it is far too easy to fall into the trap of my owners and GM only care about profits. Let's not kid ourselves. Of course, they care about profits, but there are many ways to make profits. And they specifically chose the hotel, and they specifically chose you to manage the wellness area. So, of course, they do care about wellness. And instead of getting ourselves stuck in a situation of disempowerment, of impotence, of anger, of frustration, we can turn the tables, empower ourselves, put wellness as that painkiller, position it as that painkiller, if that is what that property needs right now. And once you stopped the hemorrhaging, then you can actually paint the future vision. But you can't do the future without cutting off that hemorrhaging. And on that note, I wish you all a beautiful day ahead. Take care now.